Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. If you could please tell us where you're tuning in from in the comment section below. Where is everybody tuning in from? Hello, hello, welcome. Bradford, UK. Awesome, welcome. It's good. Nigeria. You're tuning in from Nigeria, the UK. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. All right, let's get Indiana. It's good. Oman. Got somebody from Oman, the UK. All right. Got lots of different places today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day to you, wherever you're tuning in from. My name is Bester Godfrey, Canadian Immigration Specialist at Tofino Immigration Consulting. At Tofino Immigration, we help make Canada your new home. We help you immigrate to Canada. But we also understand that immigration is just a part of the things that need to be done. It's a piece of the puzzle. When you get here to Canada, you also need to be successful. You need to thrive. And part of the keys, part of the tools that help you thrive in Canada is mentorship. So today we're going to talk about mentorship for the immigrant and the importance of mentorship for immigrants. And today we have a special guest, a good friend of mine, Dr. Adeola Olubamiji. She's going to be joining us today to talk about mentorship and her journey. And I hope you learn a lot. Dr. Adi is an award winner of the ROBC Top 25 Immigrants Award. She's also the first Black person to get a PhD in biomedical engineering from the more than a century-old University of Saskatchewan. So let me find our guest. Enjoy, invite a friend, invite a neighbor, and I hope you have a great time. It's good. Let's get started. Welcome. It's good to see you. I've been last time I was on. We're doing a live. I was presenting, but today's your turn to present. Good.
Great.
Are you calling? Where are you coming from today?
Chicago, actually.
Chicago. So you're probably traveling. I'm calling from Calgary today, so it's good. So let's get started. The today's going to be interesting because we're going to talk about mentorship and how it's important for immigrants. And I know you mentor lots of people, but I have lots of questions for you. So recently you got an award.
Okay.
ROBC Top 25 Immigrants Award. And also you're the first Black person to get a PhD in biomedical engineering from more than a century-old University of Saskatchewan. These are big accomplishments, but lots of us are only seeing the fruits. This is reward for hard work, dedication. So if you can tell us a little bit about your humble beginnings, where did you start? If you can give us a brief overview of how it all began for you and some of the challenges you had to go through, it would be a good place to start today.
Okay, I hope 3 people are on here because I want to start to drop some gems, and I'd like you to tweet it and tag myself at Tofino Immigration because it's critical that we remember some of those points along the line. So my first point is, if you can't see it, you can't be it. So when I was a kid, I remember when I was 9 years old, I lived in Mokala, Ibadan, and Nigeria growing up. And in my neighborhood at that time, everything was just so messed up. My parents weren't educated, but they're very hardworking. So where we lived, there was Sunnyvale. Sunnyvale is like a prostitute house that people could go into and have sexual immoralities going on. People from my neighborhood, it was like living in Oluwole. We had Sabo very close by. People would steal stuff and go and sell it there. So I grew up in a neighborhood where everything was just crazy. Young girls were sleeping with married men for money. But at a young age, I really knew that I didn't want to be any of that. I wanted to be better than that. And I wanted to make my parents proud since they were really working hard. So some of you have probably heard this before. On the wall of our living room, there were 3 pictures there. One of them is for my uncle, a professor of nuclear physics, who at that point was living in the US and making waves. The other one, a clinical professor, another uncle living in the US as a medical doctor and was also an high-profile person. So when I look at those pictures, I asked my dad, you said you grew up with these people. How come they live in the US? They're your cousins. We live here, we're suffering. And what I realized from talking to my dad is the difference between them and my father were 2 things. The first thing was a parent who could send them to the right school, and then the ability to dream and believe in that dream. So my uncles at very young age were really focused on their goals. They knew they wanted to be whatever they wanted to be. They had to trek multiple kilometers every day to go to school back and forth like that. They were focused on that, on their dreams. So at a young age, I knew that I needed my focus to be clear. I need to be focusing on this particular goal. So I saw it. I told my dad, I said, oh, I want to be a professor of nuclear physics. And when I get a PhD, you're going to put my picture up there and you're going to talk about me too. And my dad just literally laughed. And I meant that. I meant that I wanted to do that. So, I went through a lot as a kid. I learned to make money early. I had to pay myself through school, selling pepper, doing all of that for one goal, to get a PhD in physics. I had that goal clearly defined. I told my father I would get a PhD in physics. And I meant that. So the question I ask everyone is, how clear is your goal? Are you really clear as to what you're trying to get out of life? Do you have it written down? Yes, sometimes it changes a little bit, right? But you have to get it clarified. You can't be dilly-dally. Today you want to be a sailor. Tomorrow you want to cross into tech. The next day you want to be an immigration consultant. It doesn't work that way. If it's not clearly defined, then you cannot build steps to get to that goal, right? So my humble beginning taught me a couple of things. One of them is that this will be the worst I will ever be. Every new day has to be better than yesterday. Because remembering who I was, where I came from, how poor that neighborhood was, I told myself every day must just be telling me I'm moving towards my goal, I'm moving out of this poverty situation, and I'm going forward. And then the other thing I learned was ability to dream. I grew up at a time when Tupac was, a thing. I listened to California Love, all of those good lyrics where, dreaming about America and dreaming about what is possible. There were music that gets into your soul, that make you feel like you could just fly. You could just dream. So I grew up at a point where dreaming as a Nigerian was something that makes us wear New York City shirt, believing that one day I'm going to visit New York City. The first time I went to Las Vegas, I wanted to go to that sign that I used to have the shirt as a kid. So when you can dream, when you can see it, the ability to be it becomes something that is, you just have to fight for. So I told myself every day as a kid, today will always be the worst day of my life compared to tomorrow. And I just continue to move like that. I wasn't afraid to take risk. I knew that for me, I didn't have parents who had achieved so much that I'm trying to compete with. I had parents who didn't have too much, who believed that I could be whatever I want, but they would support me. But they knew that I would be better than them. So you may be growing up in a home right now where your parents are overly accomplished. They could be the barrier to you succeeding because they know too much. Right. In my case, they didn't know. So because they didn't know, I could mold myself into whatever with a little bit of ease. But yeah, there was no money, but there was ability to dream. And I think being poor teaches you something, ability to actually fight for something. Right. So I was every day fighting for something, fighting and hustling. When I use the word hustle, people look at me and say, no, I grew up hustling. I grew up selling pepper. There is no better hustle than that. And I grew up just knowing that money is part of life. You don't just say, I am dreaming, without you dreaming about being able to sustain yourself. Because we didn't have money, that's why we were poor, and my uncles were richer. So I knew that whatever dream I craft for myself, it has to be a dream that make me powerful, but also rich. Because there's a difference between power and wealth. So I needed both. So every day I was kind of checking out how clear is that vision? Is it driving me towards both? I really just keep pursuing it. Yes, the upbringing was good, shaped me. One of the part of my story that I don't talk about a lot is how Lagos was my success story. I went to Lagos for an internship in my third year in university. And that was the beginning of my understanding of moving abroad as my pathway. During that internship, I worked for a company that had, it was an international company, so they had white people in the company. And then I happened to meet somebody who worked in that company, but was an expat. And the person is Nigerian origin. So this lady talked to me, took me under her wing. That was my first mentor in life. Took me under her wing, talked to me about how she went to a Nigerian school. She moved to the US. She got a master's. And then she went and worked for a couple of years and became American. And now she has come to work in our native country as an expatriate, being driven around by drivers, being, having all the access to big things and living in a very nice house in Ikoyi. And then she told me at that point, I was in year 3. She told me, she said, when you go back to school, the decision you make then would determine how far you go in life. And she told me one thing: if your grades are not good, please stay back and do an extra year. You are doing yourself a favor if you stay there and do an extra year to rectify and correct your mistakes, than try to rush and graduate, because you need that to propel you. I left that company knowing that I have to travel abroad. I have to live abroad for 10 years. I have to become maybe American or Canadian and have some experience and come back home as an expatriate. Thank God for that mentor. Thank God for that person who opened my eyes to let me see that my Nigerian degree could be a launching pad for my career abroad. And that's exactly what I did.
So tell me, because some people might not fully understand what mentorship is. Let's start there. Let's back up a little bit. What is mentorship, and why is it important for immigrants, in your opinion?
So I'm not going to give you the dictionary title of mentorship, but I'm going to tell it as the way I want you to see it. Mentorship is a relationship where you try to get from someone who has been where you want to go next. Okay. So I tell people, you have to identify who you want to be like, who are you looking up to, and go and try to tap into the wealth of knowledge. Mentorship is a relationship, so usually it's a two-way street. Okay. A role model is somebody that you look up to, but they never participate. But a mentor for you has to participate. It has to become a relationship where you are getting from their wealth of knowledge to make your journey a lot smoother, to get to the destination a lot faster, and to just continue to aid you in the process. So that is the way I see mentorship. And it comes in different forms. Like I said, somebody who is where you want to go may vary. Where you want to go tomorrow or where you want to go 20 years from now. When you choose a mentor, I usually say you need a variety. The one you need the most is the one that is where you want to go tomorrow. Right. Not the one that is where you want to go in 20 years. But sometimes people mix it up. They go get a mentor. Okonjo Iweala can be your mentor, but she's like 30 years ahead of you in the career. Right. What she's gone through is a lot. We respect her, but she didn't go through those digitization phases, which has transformed how they do things now. So you don't need an Okonjo Iweala if you're setting out for your career. Right. You need someone who's just a few years ahead of you.
And for yourself, you obviously had some mentorship as you were starting off, or probably still now as well. What do you think you accomplished because you had a mentor?
Well, I think I won't be standing without a mentor.
Okay.
And I quickly identified some things when I was looking for a mentor. One of them is mentorship is not by age. Somebody who is younger than me, if they have what I'm looking for, I'm ready to put my head down and get it from them. So I remembered what I wanted to choose a career. So I studied physics as my first degree. And then I had to look at what area of physics did I want to go into. Then I met this friend of mine called Carl Magnus, who sat with me to analyze the future of physics and told me that I should focus on biomedical engineering with a major in medical physics. He showed me how to do market research for me to understand why that is the right path. It was my friend, but it was a mentor. Sometimes the people who could mentor you are right beside you. They're not even older than you. They're just maybe a level ahead of you, but the information they have holds the key to clarity based on where you want to go. So I quickly realized that age will never be a determining factor when selecting a mentor. Number two is I try to look at people that were going in the same direction, but they just have a leap ahead, right? So I remembered when I got to University of Saskatchewan, one of the way that I used to determine the two mentors I had, the first one was I wanted somebody who is already in the industry based on what they study, if there's similarity between mine and them. And then I wanted another person who already have a PhD related to the field I was studying, who is probably still in academia. Why? Because there are two paths for me post-graduation. It's either I go to the industry or I become a postdoc or a professor. So I got two mentors who could guide me in both directions and just continue to keep up with them. So for me, selecting mentors comes easy because I'm humble enough to ask for help. People who can't ask for help can't have mentors. Right. So I pretty much believe that every step of the way, I analyze my life, see deficiencies, do not fight with my deficiencies, accept my deficiency, and accept the fact that I need some help and I need to go get it.
Awesome. All right, so let's talk about pay, money, which is important for immigrants, right?
Yes.
If you're just tuning in, we're talking about mentorship today with Dr. Addy. Welcome. I see that more people are tuning in. So when I was working full-time, every time I got a different role, they would say, congratulations, they give me the offer letter, and there'll be a pay. And you have an amount of time to negotiate almost this pay. But I never really did because I didn't quite understand the negotiating power that I had. Or if it was out of, I don't want to rock the boat too much. If you go ask for too much, they withdraw the offer. A lot of immigrants don't really understand this part, money making, negotiating your pay. And so my question to you is, in your opinion, is there a pay disparity that exists for immigrants? And if it does, how do we close this gap? How do we do better on this negotiating?
Thank you. So when I started my career, I started just straight out of college. I didn't even know what to ask for. And I just took whatever they gave me. Over time, I started realizing that, yes, there is big gap between immigrants' pay and people who were born and raised in Canada. Not only in Canada, around the world. Then I studied a little more. And I realized that Black women are at the tail end of the pay scale. For every $1 a white guy earns, we earn 50 something cent or 60 cent maximum. So we are 40% lower than the market value of what we have to offer. So I started asking myself, why is that? The moment I realized that, I told myself, I will bargain for every cent because I don't want to be used as statistics of people who are underpaid. Not anymore. Right. The first thing is, have you researched? What is your motivation for wanting money? My motivation for wanting money is that statistics needs to change. I'm going to bump it up. I'm not going to be a status quo of women, Black women are extremely underpaid. It's not going to be me, minus me. So I went ahead and did more research. What is my market worth today? I feel like immigrants, when they come into new countries, you're an immigration consultant. I want to scold immigration consultants a bit. You guys help these people come into the country. You don't prep them in terms of what is ahead of them. You just help them come into the country. It's like they just throw somebody into an ocean and say, swim. They can't swim. They don't know how to swim. You didn't give them any swimming skill. You didn't even prep them about swimming.
Exactly.
But they were looking forward to jumping into ocean. And you help them get to the place where they can jump. And now you told them, good luck, this is the ocean. Now they jump, and now they don't know how to swim. Now they're struggling. Now they're screaming, and nobody's helping them. And because you have taken them to where you promised to take them to, you have gone. And now they are stuck there swimming. The first thing is this: when an immigrant comes in, that realization of I'm in a new country, the excitement makes it blindfolds people that they don't understand that getting into a new country is actually a challenge. Instead of you doing Thanksgiving everywhere, raising your shoulder that you have crossed over to Canada, you have actually just entered into the deep. You should ask for help now. So I feel personally that whether it's new immigrant, whether it's somebody coming out of school, if you are not consciously asking, nobody's going to give you. The job of HR is to pay everybody as low as possible and save the company money. That is their job. And your job is to be able to understand your market value. It does not come straight to immigrants because we don't know our market value. So it is important for us to do our research or find people who have been there. Then another thing is this: I've seen people come in and say there are settlement centers. I'll go to settlement centers. Let me tell you, settlement centers have not worked in your shoes. Most of them are not immigrants. They didn't come from Nigeria. They're not Black. Look for jobs. Sometimes the people you need to stand on their shoulders are usually people who are similar to you. Yes, use the available resources, but look out on LinkedIn or anywhere for people who look like you have navigated with care, though, because sometimes the people you're reaching out to may not also know. They may give you the number that is low.
Right.
So it's critical that all of us collectively, first of all, understand that the pay disparity is there. Black people are at the tail end. And then what is it that we have to do? First, in market research, let's know our worth. Then you know how to project yourself, what you should be asking for based on data, not just flinging out numbers, right?
Awesome. So I've heard people in the past, and I'm sure you probably heard it too, saying they always have this, in quotes, excuse. Oh, I'm not doing quite well because I'm Black. It's because I'm Black. So do you view being a visible minority, being Black, as a career disadvantage for immigrants? Is it an advantage? Is it a disadvantage? Does it have any effect?
Oh my God. I'm Black. I'm proud. It's tiring to be Black. Come on, let me just put that out. It's tiring. It's tiring to be Black. First of all, you have to prove why your hair is changing. You have to prove why you have an accent. You have to prove the school you went to. You have to prove everything. It's tiring to be Black. It is just tiring to be Black. Do I regret being Black? I didn't create myself. So I'm not gonna sit down and say that is why somebody's gonna pay me low. But I'm going to leverage being Black to my advantage in places where it could be an advantage. So I have realized that being Black could be an advantage for certain areas. For example, in my type of field, we don't have women, we don't have Black people. So when I get an opportunity to be somewhere, I'm different. In some cases, it's a good thing. Because I'm different, there's attention on me. If I'm extremely smart, now people are interested in me. And that could be my opportunity to prove my worth, to place my feet in a place and really be the solid person who's going to lead something because I'm different. But sometimes that differentiation makes it overbearing. because you're the only one. Now everybody is looking at you. Everybody is watching you. Everybody is just watching your lips as you open your mouth. And some weird questions are coming to you. It's hard. But for me, career-wise, I've used being Black to my advantage. And I'll give you an example. Recently, there was Black Lives Matter about a year ago. George Floyd died, Breonna Taylor died. You know, everybody was fighting everywhere and asking for Black people's rights. Companies were shaken. Organizations started to look at their structures because Black people were demanding for Black leadership, Black board members, Black promotions. Were you prepared to be promoted at that point? That's the question. Before you put the race card on something, let's look at the skill sets you have. Let's do a skill map for you. I am a career coach. I talk to people often, and I realize that immigrants, especially the ones coming from places like Nigeria, the skill portfolio is, if you do a match rate, what the market need and what they bring sometimes could be less than 50%. If it's less than 50%, you shouldn't be expecting to be paid what they will pay somebody who has the entire skills and more.
Right.
So let's think about, before we talk about color as the problem, let's think about skill disparity. The skill disparity is wide. When Black Lives Matter happened, many companies were looking for smart Black people to promote, smart Black people to hire.
It's true.
Opportunity must meet preparedness. If you weren't prepared for those opportunities, when it came last year, it would have made you. I benefited from that. I became a director.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Because I was prepared.
Yeah.
Because I was prepared. Are you prepared? When we fight as Black people about pay disparity, about racism, before we start to carry those fights on our head, let's look at our skills. Let's look at our resume. Let's look at our influence, our achievement. Are we really prepared? And nobody's giving you the opportunity. Let's get prepared.
It's pretty good. Awesome. So are you able to tell us then about your coaching / mentorship program and what are the benefits of this program that you have?
Okay. So I'll tell you how I started my mentorship program. It was an accidental mentorship program. I've been mentored by people who had helped me understand so many things, from financial literacy to how to climb in my career, how to get into those places. So right after college, I also, even before the end of my college program, I started mentoring people. I started with young people, then I proceeded to early career professional. What I saw is that just working with them, helping them say, hey, don't be a generalist, be a specialist, focus on this one thing, do this market research. It was giving them good results. People were getting promoted on time. People were getting pay increase. People were changing jobs. But what happened was, one of my mentees, who happened to be very close to me, one day did an appreciation post on his Instagram for his mentor, and he slotted in a white guy's name and literally mentioned all the things that I've done for him, that the guy did it for him. I saw that post and my brain went like, I've been helping this person do all of this, and now he wants to publicly name the person who's been helping him. He named the white guy. That's it. If it was paying, it won't pay me. That's it, no more. So at that point, I said, I'm gonna put a price on my mentorship program. If people don't give me credit, it's fine. I've been paid for it. So that was the moment I went to another mentee and said, hey, you do something like that, how does it work? And then she told me, do this form, and doctor, do this form, and then your mentorship program is started. So I have a couple of cohorts for my mentorship program based on what I have been able to help people with. So the first one I focused on was admission and scholarship, because all my school outside of Nigeria had not had to pay any dollar. So I think I understand how to help people talk to professors, because I was an adjunct professor, so I know how to talk to them and they respond. And I felt like, yeah, let me help people get to be able to put themselves forward the right way and win scholarships to be able to leave Nigeria, especially people who grew up like me. That was one. Then the second one was the constant entering of immigrants to the US and Canada. I really realized, so I moved from Canada to the US about 2 years ago to come and work in the US. I didn't have no US education. I didn't have nothing. They brought me in as an expert. I've changed jobs again. I've been promoted again. So I kind of felt like I understand the system. So let me keep helping people. So I put together a career competitiveness mentorship program alongside the graduate school help. The career competitiveness one is the most important to me right now. And the reason for that is because immigrants get underpaid a lot. As I've been talking to them, I'm realizing some of them have good skills and the pay are so low. Or some of them have almost good skill, they just need a little more and they should be on their way to 6 figures. Because I'm in tech, so I'm an Industry 4.0 specialist. I'm in additive manufacturing, there are other 8 areas. This is the future of work. And I saw how planting myself in the area of the future of work has propelled my career. So I wanted to continue to advocate so more Black people cross to the future of work because they pay well. And this future of work is here for the next 50 years. So there's job security. So for me, my most important mentorship is get more Black people to understand how to make their career competitive and secured. Competitive means good salary. Secured means you have a job if you want it, and many people are going to be begging you to come and work for them, just the way my career has been. So those have been my 2 focus. But recently I realized that sometimes people just want to have a 1-hour discussion with me. They just want to confirm that the decision they're about to make is good. So I open up single slots where you just confirm different things, whether you are on the right path, whether you're having work conflicts, and you want to know, should I do this because I may be fired? I feel like there are tension. So I have those 1 slot. But my focus for those 2 programs is yearly bring at least 40 new graduate students into the US and Canada, and yearly be able to boastfully say 100 people got jobs, 100 got jobs. And I'm like, yeah, some of them could be coming from Nigeria, some of them could be coming from Ghana, some of them could already be in the country, some of them could be looking for internships, some of them could be trying to graduate and get a job. Just make sure 100 people get a job or transition to a new job, but get to the right salary, be able to hold substance after our sessions. And really, one of the things I felt like the sessions do for people the most, especially the career competitiveness one, is you immediately know how you measure against your counterpart. So you can see and say, okay, I am 30% lower than what the market is looking for. So you are not blaming racism because you see it. And then you can see how can I put together a career development plan? You could see that. Today, before this session, the second to the last session I had was somebody who is in Nigeria. She's an HR compensation person, and she has a COPR. And we just started working together a month ago. And we had a meeting today because she had two companies, one a Fortune 500 and second one a university, wanting to interview her in this coming week for 2 nice roles that are 6 figures worth. She's still in Nigeria. So we had to have a meeting and say, hey, you have not even gotten here. Do you want to, and they're not allowing you people come in.
Right.
So how do we stall this, push it forward? So what I'm saying in essence is, my aim is that my mentorship provides you clarity. So you know that Canadian experience will not stop you from getting a job. Yeah. That you know that not having Canadian education will not stop you from getting a job. You know that your Nigerian or Ghanaian degree or whatever degree you have is equivalent to the Canadian one, because I'm going to show you.
Awesome.
And you know what exactly you need to do you know how the job process works. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. You know, I'll make it known. So you know where you're at, and you know why you're not hearing back all along. So that's it.
So tell me, how do people sign up? They just contact you? How do they reach out to you?
I have a link tree on my page. So on that link tree, there are different forms. So someone looking for career competitiveness, they'll fill the form there. Someone looking for graduate school help, they'll fill the form there. And then someone filling, I live abroad, I want to pay using PayPal. There's a direct PayPal payment opportunity there. So everything is on. If you go to my bio, the link tree there has all the forms, and people can just literally fill it.
Pretty good. There's this misconception that coming to Canada, you have to be, an engineer, a doctor, a nurse to make good money. Is this true?
No.
Are there other careers that people can make money from, or
Of course. I just told you that somebody who is an HR specialist, he's coming from Nigeria, and our job were the range that we're asking. If you interview this week, is going to be 6 figures.
Pretty good. So people,
So
go ahead.
I don't believe that you have to be an engineer or anything, but I know that Industry 4.0 is going to infiltrate everything.
Right.
It's going to infiltrate finance, government, policy making, how we do everything, interaction. So as a person, you don't have to, I don't know how to code. I cannot write a single string of code, and I'm in tech.
Right.
Right. So you don't have to cross to tech. But as technology influences your field, as the tools are changing, make sure you're learning all the new tools. Doesn't require coding, right? So you could be a content creator and say, as a content creator, I'm going to learn graphics design. And I'm going to learn how to optimize SEO. You are a content creator, you are in arts. But you added some things on top of it. So you don't need to be in tech to adopt the changes that are coming to us. And you don't need to cross to a tech career to make money. No.
Awesome. We're gonna switch gears a little bit to something else. Now, in all of these accomplishments that you have, PhD, the awards, the history, in all of the craziness, was it difficult for you to find love along the way?
Oh, don't get me. It was difficult.
Okay.
It was difficult because I'm quite opinionated. I'm like, I'm an extrovert. My parents never shut me up. They let me say whatever I want to say. They listen. They engage me, even if it's like, yeah, they just know I'm a happy child. So I grew up like that. And all my life, I've always have an opinion. So before I got a PhD, even when I was in school, I remembered my last relationship before I met my husband. The guy, once it tells people his girlfriend was doing a PhD, there was a PhD kid. And that continued to register in his head to a point where everything I do, he had to try to subdue me. He had to try to just turn it into a fight. Finding love was very hard, especially in this part of the world where you don't talk to people that much. We're not outside. We're not eating fish, and we're not wearing clothes, and we're walking around. Everybody is hustling. It was hard. And I've said it before, how I met my husband on LinkedIn. Okay. I met him on LinkedIn. We when my story went viral in 2017, he reached out to me, he congratulated me and asked me if I have other social media links that I could send to him so he could follow me on other outside of LinkedIn. So he followed me on Instagram and Facebook. And a year later, we decided to date. So I feel like one of the areas that I have allowed technology to penetrate a lot is trusting technology when I want to buy things, and also trusting it for love. If I trust Amazon to deliver my product, why can't I trust it to connect me with the right people? So, if I found you on social media and we became friends, why is it hard for me to be able to allow those type of people to date me, right?
Awesome. So LinkedIn, though, many people consider LinkedIn as a very professional platform. And I really respect your husband because he was able to message you on there. But can we shoot our shots on LinkedIn?
So let's talk about LinkedIn career-wise first before we shoot our shot. So good. LinkedIn has been my most beneficial platform for career. So if you're on my LinkedIn, it's dry. I don't post anything that I post to social media. I just because I want to be known as a subject matter expert on LinkedIn. So everything I post on LinkedIn is showcasing 3D printing, is showcasing my career. There's a little bit of blackness every here and there. I'm black, you better watch it. But it's mostly professional, right? Sure. What I realize is this: the power of LinkedIn can bring you jobs. My current role, I found it on LinkedIn. They found me on LinkedIn. Right. And I've had a lot of consulting coming at me through LinkedIn. Some of them I'll say no to. Some of them I'm like, this is interesting. So LinkedIn is where I met my two first mentors in Canada. Right. I looked at their profile. I saw what they were doing. I reached out to them respectfully, asking for like a coffee meeting and wanting to inquire more about what they do. And that's how they became my mentors. Use LinkedIn for professional connections that can advance your career. People like to talk about themselves. If you're a new immigrant, you are coming into Canada, you just got into Canada, connect to at least 500 professionals in your field. Connect to LinkedIn groups in your field. There are LinkedIn groups. Go on that groups and connect to groups related to your field. Connect to those and be participative. When someone posts something on the group, is something you know something about, put a very intelligent 1 or 2 lines comment. Let people start to notice you. It helps a lot. And when you go to conferences, you collect their card, follow them on LinkedIn, make an introduction, book it 5-10 minutes coffee call. Let somebody just connect with you. I've used LinkedIn like that. I've also connected to a lot of Nigerians because every now and then somebody would just post something about me. 300 new connections, all Nigerians. What is it? Oh, your story went viral. Oh God, another story went viral. So every time my tweets get tweeted a lot or my story goes viral, it's on Instablog, it increased my LinkedIn numbers with Africans. Every time I do engagements on 3D printing, it increased my professional numbers. Should you shoot your shot on LinkedIn? First of all, shoot your damn shot for jobs on LinkedIn. If you have a connection, you're applying to a company. This person and you have been following each other for a year. They work in that company. You've applied for that job. Contact them before you apply. They may give you referral because they've been following you for a year. They've been reading your content. You guys have been commenting on each other's stuff. You've met at the conference. They could give you internal referral. It could help you land that job. So use LinkedIn for jobs. On shooting your shots on LinkedIn, I feel like it's relative. So let me tell you, my husband, I met him on LinkedIn. That my last boyfriend, I met him on LinkedIn. Why? Where do you want me to meet anybody? I have a PhD. I don't know how to go out. I don't know how to do anything else. I just read my book and close my door. Right. Yeah. So I feel like shooting your shot is relative. I've had a lot of good friends. People reach out. They just want to connect. They start to ask you, questions about what you do for work. They tell you what you do. And from there, they ask for your, if you're open to a Zoom call, if you're open to talking on the phone. Right. And usually it doesn't start with, I want to date you. You are beautiful. Right. It starts with intentionally good conversations about your career and their career, how they love what they see on your profile, how they saw that you have these skills and that is interesting. They'd like to know more. True. I feel like when we approach ladies and we use the lines such as you're beautiful or stuff like that, it turns them off because it's LinkedIn. Yep. But when people like to talk about themselves. When people reach out, I want to know about what you do professionally. I feel like most ladies are okay talking to you about that. And from there, it could just develop into friendship and other things like that.
Awesome. And so do you have any advice for people that are very ambitious, the go-getters, the women, the men that are still looking for love, but working really hard? What is your advice for those people?
A couple, right. Well, I never had like a picture of myself like this. I never had.
You're muted. Go ahead. Go ahead. I couldn't hear you for a few seconds.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Okay. So I want to say we need to manage expectation. Expectation is very important when you're dating someone. If you have this high expectation, they have to check all these boxes. Nobody's perfect. You need to have your core, the core things you want them to have, but stop putting this expectation that are so high that you yourself don't have it. You want your husband to be 6 feet tall. You want him to be a good Christian. You want him to go to the gym. You don't do any of that.
Right.
Who you are is who you attract. And then you start to put this huge expectation on them and you don't have any of that. Let's manage expectation. For guys, take the conversation off LinkedIn. It starts from LinkedIn, but ask them for their Twitter handle, for their Instagram handle. Go and continue the conversation there because it makes the guard drops once you follow them on social media. that is outside of LinkedIn. So let's take the conversation off LinkedIn completely. Once you reach out, you want to get to know them, collect their phone number or ask for their Instagram handle or Twitter. Let's just move the conversation out. For another one for ladies is, don't bring the baggage from your previous relationship. This new guy is not your last boyfriend. Don't start comparing him to the guy who abused you. Don't start comparing him to your father. Don't start comparing him to your brother. Don't start comparing him to that guy on Instagram. He is not them. He's unique. It's different. Give him a chance to prove himself. Same with the guy. Don't bring the baggage from that previous relationship. That girl cheated on you. She's not smart. Don't bring that into this relationship. It's a fresh plate. Heal from your last relationship. Your last relationship was bad. Things are you're still hurting. Take your time and become a whole one. You can't be a part of a two except you are a whole one. Be a whole one. Take time to heal. Don't jump from one relationship to another. Take time to love yourself, to get back to a point where you're comfortable. Another point on you can't be a part of a two if you're not a whole one is you're still in school, you're still suffering. Any little gift is going to look attractive to you. That's not the point you want to date someone. Get to a point of stability before trying to add dating to what you want to do. Try to focus on your career, build it to a point of stability. To some extent, you are a new immigrant in the country. 2 weeks after arriving, you're looking for a boyfriend. Something is wrong with you. Focus on what you should focus on first. Get a job, get stability, and then be open. Another one is, you've come from another country. You are in a different place. Stop looking out for Igbo. I want to be Igbo. She has to be 6 feet. She has to be Catholic. Forget that crap. There's a reason why you are in Canada. Because you are open to adapting to new cultures, to meeting new people. You may be lucky to find another Yoruba, but they are definitely different from you. Be open to not wanting to find your sister from Anambra on the streets of Toronto. Be open to dating a Togolese. If you're thinking the person has to be African, be open to dating a white person, an Asian. It's just what it is. We live in a multicultural world, and we have to be open to all of these changes. And it's just what it is. If they have the criteria you're looking for, give them a chance. And I want to say, I met people on LinkedIn, but let me tell you, I also tried POF in the past. I tried Black People Meet in the past. We use all of these different apps for different things. We are connecting on a app. Why is the dating app a taboo? If all the other apps are acceptable, give it a try. Give it a try. Vet people, right? Vet people, vet them and vet them. But the fear that we propel when it comes to dating or meeting someone on a app is just too much.
Okay.
Sometimes it doesn't end in a relationship. Sometimes that person could end as a connector, as a good friend, as a helper, as a mentor. Let's manage your expectation, really.
Thank you. So these brands, Fendi, Prada, Yves Saint Laurent, Louis Vuitton, they all have one product in common, a bag, handbag. And one of your favorite things to say is secure the bag. Are we trying to secure one of these bags, or what does this mean? I don't know what it means, but it sounds pretty good. Can you tell us a little bit more about what securing the bag means and how do we secure it?
So I read a book last year, The Memo by Minda Arts. If you haven't read it, you're a Black person, you need to read it. The Memo by Minda Arts. She's very accessible on Instagram as well. You can go chat with her. So the memo in that book, the book talked about the gaslighting, the ridiculousness, the things that happen to Black people in places of work, how stressed we are because of people trying to undermine our intelligence, and how she quit her job because of that. And she cited so many different examples of how Black women has not risen to the ranks they deserve. If you've read Leaning by Sheryl Sandberg, Leaning is another good one. So Leaning by Sheryl Sandberg is the white version. So after she read that, she said, I'm going to create a Black version of Leaning by Sheryl Sandberg. So that's the Black version. In that book, there's two phrases that got stuck with me. secure the seat, and secure the bag. For the last 2 years in my career, before 2021, I was busy securing the seat. And what I mean by securing the seat is this. I knew as a person and as an immigrant, I always know when a phase ends and when another one begins. In the first 2 years of my career, I was busy collecting skills. I wanted to be like a sponge and soak up all the skills that I need to become a subject matter expert. Right after that, I transitioned from collecting skills to collecting influence. And that is why in the last 2 years, I won all of those awards, right? Because I was collecting influence, because I had the skills. I had to move on to influence. So at that second transition, I was securing the seat. I needed the seat. So the first thing was secure the skills, get all the skills, and know when to stop. Africans don't know when to stop. They want all the certifications of the world. That's not going to give you the promotion you need. So you need to realize, when does skill collection ends? When do I move to collecting influence? And when you collect influence, you secure seat. Because as you collect influence, people start to notice you. People start to respect you. People start to, because I collected skills and became a subject matter expert. So when the leading discussion in 3D printing, people ask me, what do you think? People say, Adi, correct me if I'm wrong. Adi is going to lead that. Adi is managing that. That is securing the seat. When you now secure the seat, you have to sit well and try to collect the money and put it in the bag. So that's the third phase, secure the bag. So you get it now? So I have moved on from influence. So this new year, I'm not applying for any award. And immigrants, I'm telling you, in Canada and the US, people will nominate you for award. I won national awards for manufacturing in the US 2 years in a row, 2019, 2020. People, companies nominated me for that. But there are other awards that the things I did at STEM Hub was the reason why STEM Hub nominated me for that. Some of them I nominated myself. Why? Because I'm worth it. Be comfortable asking for what you deserve. Be comfortable asking for your seat at the table. Be comfortable, getting those awards. It's a seat. You get a seat and a stamp and an approval. You are a very important immigrant of Canada. You are one of the most powerful women in this country. That is a seat. Awesome. So I felt like the last 2 years, I was collecting seats. Now, I don't want seats. I don't want money. Secure the bag. Yeah. So I told myself that consciously every day, that this year, I'm securing the bag. I'm securing the legacy for my children. I'm buying houses everywhere. I'm gonna be.
Awesome, thank you. Now I get a better picture of the bag. You need to secure the bag to secure the Fendi bag. It's good. I like it. So a lot of people think PhD holders are poor. They don't have any money. Obviously, you're an outlier here. You've showed us that it's good. Last week, for example, you and your partner bought 2 new homes and added that to your investment portfolio. So tell me, what's next for you? What's next projects that you have going on for you? We got a few more minutes before we end the show. So
yeah. So this year is the 3 things. The first thing is trading stocks a lot, learning a lot more than I know before, and trading more stocks. So I bought some Bitcoin. I was telling my husband last night that I've gotten over 50% appreciation in my Bitcoin. So really trading stock. I want my money to work for me this year. I want it to be working for me when I'm sleeping this year. I just don't want to be working for money. Let money work for me. That is my motto for this year. So I want to establish that strategy and make it stable. So for this year, next year, I'm going to be trying new things. I'm going to be stabilizing it and saying, my money worked for me. If I decide not to work any longer, I'll have enough money for retirement and I'm good. So that is the aim for this year and next year. Then I want to have a baby, hopefully soon. So
awesome.
So be able to really get
I'll come down to the States bearing gifts. So
yeah, so those are the 2 things important for me. Yes, continue to grow in my career. It's just very critical. But have other streams of income, right? Establish them, stabilize them. So I've established a couple of streams, but they have to be stable. This year, next year, stabilize this extra stream of income.
That's beautiful. Thank you. So I hope everybody I hope most people try and contact you and ask about your mentorship services and your coaching services, because I have learned a lot from this session, just talking about uh, the immigrants and the importance of mentorship and all of this stuff that you told us today. Real gems. Do you have any final words for our audience today?
So if you are here, you are planning to move to Canada, maybe in 6 months, in 5 months, in 8 months, act now. You need a mentor now. You need to know where your career stands now, so that you can start to build those skills now. You want to do it now before you relocate to Canada. Do it now. If you're a new immigrant and you are already in Canada, ask for help. Go ask for help. Don't try to do it alone. Some of you are like known on social media. Don't let social media rush you. Go and ask for help if you need it. Resources are available to support you. The last thing is, some things will not come for free. Good things don't come for free. Be ready to put your money where your mouth is. Put your money in that mentorship program. Put your money in anything you need. The last one is this. I don't want you to just focus on 9 to 5. You need multiple streams of income to survive. Please learn other things that you can add to your portfolio for you to have a comfortable life that you deserve. That's all for me.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to come talk to us about mentorship and how important it is for immigrants. I really appreciate you and the words of wisdom that you shared with our audience today. I saw lots of the comments. People were saying thank you so much, and they really love that you. I think the one that we got the most comments from was secure the bag. People really love that piece. So thank you so much. I'm securing the bag this year, so it's pretty good. So thank you for coming on, and we hope to see you again soon. And thank you, and God bless. And I'll see you in the States after this whole pandemic is done. I'll come bearing gifts. So
thank you. We look forward to having you.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
You too. I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Bye. Bye, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Thank you. I hope you had a good time and you learned a lot from today's session. My name is Bester Guffrey, Canadian Immigration Specialist at Tofino Immigration Consulting. We help make Canada your new home. And today we talked about mentorship, because we know it is important for you to have a mentor when you immigrate to Canada. So contact Dr. Addy, follow her on Instagram. And if you have any questions for us, feel free to contact us. The link is in our bio. And Canada awaits you. Goodbye and good night. Thank you.